Coming right up, Straight Talk with Art Levine. Our guest tonight for the entire show, Long Beach City Prosecutor Doug Haubert, as we continue our 20th anniversary year.
Closed captioning provided by Scan Health Plan.
Opinions expressed in the following program do not necessarily reflect the views of Charter Communications nor its sponsors. We recognize our obligation to present opposing points of view by responsible spokespersons. For information, please contact the director of program.
She stands in the face of evil and will not lose hope or faith. America, the land of freedom, is still the home of the brave. So raise the banner, call Old Glory, let us join our fellow man. History will write the story. America will always stand.
Straight Talk is brought to you in part by Southern California Edison. For over 100 years, life powered by Edison. The Press Telegram, your local news leader for over 100 years.
Join us for tonight's edition of Straight Talk. And now your host, Art Levine.
Good evening and welcome to Straight Talk. Our guest for the entire show tonight is Long Beach City Prosecutor Doug Haubert. Doug, welcome back to Straight Talk.
Thank you for having me, Art.
Let's talk about the crime stats. By the time this show airs, the full year crime stats will be out, but right now we only have access to the 9-month. The very good news is that murder is down 36%, 10 less murders this year. I know one murder is one murder too many, but still, that's encouraging.
Well, it is, and I think also, to put it in context, 2010, the statistics from 2010 showed that was one of our best years here in Long Beach since they started keeping statistics back in the 1970s. 2010 had the fewest murders, and it looks like we improved on that in 2011. That, honestly, is probably the most important statistic because of the seriousness of the crime. But there are a lot of crime stats, but I think the murder statistic's a very important one, and I'm happy to see that we're making progress there.
Kudos to the Long Beach Police Department that increasingly are doing more with less.
Absolutely. The police department does a very, very good job. The budget constraints are disheartening sometimes to see what's going on in the city, but the men and women in the Long Beach Police Department are doing a fabulous job. Robbery
was about flat, up 1.1%. Residential burglary, a 25% increase. Commercial burglary, 17.8% increase. So in tough economic times, you normally do see increases in burglaries.
Sometimes you do. This is a recession, but we're actually seeing good crime statistics. And those are 9-month numbers. So the most important thing will be at the end of the year what the numbers look like. And you're looking at numbers that are compared to 2010. And 2010 was a very, very good year. And there are a lot of things going on. There's a statewide budget crisis. The state is releasing or causing the early release of a lot of prisoners. So I think most experts expect to see a spike in crime coming up.
That's known as realignment, where the state is releasing to the counties some thousands of prisoners, and LA County in particular is getting quite a few because that's where they came from. Speak to the problem that realignment is causing.
Well, in order to solve the state budget problem, the state decided to release to the county felons who would normally be in state prison. And about a third of the people in the California state prison system came from Los Angeles County. So the state is removing some of the offenders from state prison and sending them to the county jails. So the Los Angeles County jail system will receive a lot of these violent criminals, these felons, which will then cause a displacement of somebody. Someone is going to be.
Of course, the
early
jails are already overcrowded, so now all these new folks being released under realignment, if they're not to be just let out, going into the county jails, and the county jails are packed, at least in LA County, so then someone has to be released.
LA County has the most impacted county jail system. So when the sheriff receives these people from the state prison system, he has to make a decision. Do I release this felon, the person that came to me from state prison, or do I release someone who's already in county jail in order to make room for that
And
inmate?
that decision is entirely in the discretion of the sheriff?
The sheriff has enormous discretion, and the sheriff in Los Angeles County is looking at creative ways, rather than just releasing them on the street. He's looking at other forms of release, such as work release. They've got electronic monitoring, and there's different programs he's looking at, putting them in rehab programs. But there just is not an infrastructure in place to absorb the numbers that are moving into the county jail system. So there will be a lot of people, and there have been in the last couple of months, and it'll continue in 2012, people released early from jail.
Is the state providing to the counties documentation on who these prisoners are that are being released with their records and all, so the sheriff can make a rational decision?
They are providing information, and this is all new. This started October 1st of 2011. So we are literally, as we go, making up the rules for what information will be provided, what resources will be provided. There's funding for the counties to absorb these inmates, but that funding expires in 2012. And so now there's a debate on whether or not there's going to be funding. So we are literally playing this day by day, week by week, month by month. The rules are changing as quickly as they're being made.
And we already have, quote, a problem in county jails, and the Board of Supervisors has set up a commission to investigate the problem of violence in the county jails, and our police chief, Jim McDonald, was appointed by Supervisor Don Knabe to be his appointment to that commission. And so they are looking into an already existing problem.
Yes, separate from realignment, there have been some issues with the Los Angeles County jail system. I know the federal authorities are looking at it. Anytime you have a large number of people, employees to watch, those employees from time to time are going to make bad decisions, and the sheriff is sorting through that right now with his employees.
The realignment problem is related to the broader issue of police manning. And I know Chief McDonald and police chiefs throughout the state are very concerned about the release of these felons to county jurisdiction and then the subsequent release of other bad people at a time when manning levels are at the lowest levels, certainly in Long Beach, that they have been in years.
You're absolutely right. Realignment could not have come at a worse time. I'll tell you, my office, we had 21 prosecutors 4 years ago. We're now down to 15 prosecutors. The police department has been cut. They're doing the best that they can with the resources they're given. But at some point, we are going to hit a crisis here.
Some people have compared it to the perfect storm, where more bad guys on the street, fewer cops available to patrol, and fewer prosecutors, as you point out.
I think that's a very good analogy. There are several things lining up at the same time to create a very uncomfortable environment in law enforcement in the next year or two, at least.
And I know our chief has been very imaginative in the use of technology in policing smart without all the resources that he would like.
Well, you're absolutely right, and I think that's the biggest reason crime is dropping. We're obviously not adding more police officers. What we're doing is we're using the resources that we have wiser than we've ever done before. We're using technology to take the place of some functions that otherwise were very labor intensive before.
Okay, we'll be continuing this great discussion with our city prosecutor after these messages.
Supported by Edison International. Californians are getting to be old hands at year-round energy conservation, part of our special awareness of the resources we all depend on. We're making the change to energy-efficient light bulbs, keeping warm weather thermostats set to a comfortable 78 degrees, and giving major appliances the afternoon off. Because when it comes to energy conservation, it all adds up. Life, powered by Edison.
This is Doug Albrecht sharing with you just one of the 100 centennial moments we chose to mark this special occasion. The Port of Long Beach was born when Charles Wyndham purchased 800 acres of mudflats in the San Pedro Bay, where the LA River meets the sea. Today, the port covers 3,200 acres of land and spans 35 miles of waterfront.
I want to improve my career opportunities.
I want to earn a higher salary at my job.
I'd like to finish what I started.
The new Bachelor of Arts in Liberal Arts degree completion program at Cal State Long Beach will help you achieve your educational goals while keeping your life in balance. Contact our customer service center at 1-800-963-2250 for more information, or visit us on the web. Let CSULB help you finish what you started.
As your business searches for smart ways to save, don't forget about the one that's right in front of you. Switch to the Charter Business Bundle and you can save big without sacrificing a thing. Get reliable business telephone and high-speed internet with local support and great features. Power your business with great savings starting today. It's easy to pay less and get more. Call now and make a switch to the Charter Business Bundle.